What's happening?
Oh.
What's up, guys? August here. Today we're gonna hit some calves and hamstrings. Starting this workout off with 3 sets of 20 on seated calves. I want you guys to pay attention to how I'm performing this exercise in terms of the tempo, in terms of not bouncing. So if you're having struggles growing your calves, watch how I hit calves. I've had a lot of growth in my calves over these last couple of years, and I've been lifting, you know, for like 10.5 years. So make sure you pay attention. I'll give you some pointers as I'm doing it, actually. So one thing is, a lot of people put this way too far on the tip of their toes. I recommend getting it more so around mid-foot, okay? So get it more so around mid-foot. For the most part, most of your sets just point your foot forward, but try to feel a lot of the weight, especially on your mid to inside of your foot, your big toe. You could do some sets like this, you could do some sets with your toes in as well, but for the most part, straightforward. Unrack it, full extension, nice good contraction, and pause at the top for a second or two. Try to get like a nice 3-ish second negative, a pause at the bottom, and then come back up. On seated calf raises, you don't necessarily have to be explosive. On standing calf raises, you might want to be explosive, but the main thing for your calves is not to bounce at the bottom. So one way to counteract that, or to fight against that, is to make sure that you pause at the bottom, maybe for 1 to 2 seconds, just to fight against that that natural like feeling of just wanting to bounce. That's your Achilles tendon, guys. When you're bouncing, you're not really hitting your calves, the muscles, as well as you possibly could. So here I'm doing sets of 3 to 20. This absolutely destroys, it kills, especially using this weight that I'm using. Nice slow negative, pause at the bottom, bring it up, squeeze at the top, get a nice pause at the top. So if there's one thing you take from this, guys, pause at the top, pause at the bottom, nice controlled, slow negative. Killing me, man. I'm doing them even slower than I might normally would, because I'm talking to you guys and I'm kind of losing track. Now, what happened here, guys, I ended my set, or I accidentally, over time, my foot's been sliding. So it's okay to just readjust, put my feet back forward a little bit more. See, Andre? And keep going. So I'm gonna keep going. This shit's destroying me, guys. It's really fucking me. I think that was anywhere between 50 to 20. Did 3 sets. I'm gonna be doing 3 sets of 20 here. That was my 3rd set actually, so I'm done. Next up, I'm gonna do standing calves. And for standing calves, I generally like to do lower rep sets. So for standing calves, I'll sometimes go as heavy as sets of 5. The lowest or the lightest I'll go is sets of 10. Today I'm doing 5 sets of 10. For the most part, I like to do 5 sets whenever I do standing calves. For seated calves, I like to do 3 to 5 sets. I'm gonna pick a weight that I could hit 10 reps with. On the last set, I'm gonna do what my boy calls intra-set stretching. On the last set, you know, I'm pretty much gonna go to failure on the last set, so maybe I'll hit 10, maybe even 12 reps. But what I'll do is, I'll show you guys in a minute on my last set. Once I hit failure at the bottom, I'm just gonna hold it in a stretch position, fight against that isometric for about 30 seconds. So I'll show you guys my last set in just a moment. So I'm gonna go hit my first 4 sets, probably with 200 pounds, and make sure you pay attention to how I'm hitting it, especially if you're struggling with calf growth. All right, see you guys in a minute. All right, guys, so this is my 5th set of standing calf raise. I want you to take note of the form that you're gonna be watching. Also keep note, I'm quite fatigued. I did 3 sets of that, already done 4 sets of this. This is my my 8th total set of calves, so you're feeling really pumped. It's getting really difficult. But one thing when that happens is you don't want to start sacrificing form. You don't want to start skipping your negatives. You don't want to start bouncing, and quite often that's what happens. You know, your first set or couple sets are really solid, and then towards the end of the latter sets or towards the end of your workout, you really start letting your form go out the window. But try not to do that. If you need to, you can lower the weight or whatever, right? It's not a big deal. But keep track of whatever you do. If you do lower the weight, write that down, just so that next time, maybe you can perform all sets with that top weight. So this is my 5th set with 200. I'm gonna do some intra, or like some kind of intra/post set stretching at the end of it for 30 seconds. Keep note of the form. I'll be honest, my calves are like cramped up as hell right now, so this will be pretty difficult. Let's go. So that weird shit at the end was just me holding it in a stretched position, fighting against it, not letting it stay totally at the end, but about 80 to 90% of that fully stretched. That's where I was keeping it. Some key things with this is to really keep your core braced, which means put pressure into your abdominal region as you're doing this. If possible, breathe, exhale, and inhale in the correct phases. So exhaling while you go up or at the top of or the end of the rep. So similar to squats and deadlifts, it's good to brace your core throughout the lift and then to breathe before beginning the next rep. And of course, you know, the lighter you get, the more you can kind of breathe during an exercise. So it really just depends. But the main thing I was doing was not bouncing at the bottom, pausing at the top, squeezing at the top, pausing at the bottom, sometimes even up to 2 to 3 seconds, but you definitely want at least a stop in motion, so you don't want to bounce. That's the main thing. And yeah, so generally, sometimes I like to do seated before standing, but most of the time, I'd say 99% of my workouts, I usually do 99% of my workouts over the last 10.5 years, I've done standing before seated. So either, most of the time, heavy sets of 5s on these, but sometimes do sets of 10. The word heavy is all relative. It's such a fucked up word, but for the most part, standing and then seated. Every once in a while, do seated before standing. So hope that helped. Next up, we got some calves, or hamstrings. Let's go. All right, guys, we got Matthew here at Fitness System. Works out at the same gym that I do. Wants to make an appearance. Wants to say what's up.
Remember to like and subscribe.
There you go. Anything else you want to say? Any shout outs to anyone?
I'm the best.
Thanks, Matt.